Well, it was a tough loss for us, but a lot of things we can learn from it. A lot of corrections to be made, and that's what we got to do. We got to make sure that we use these defeats to allow our anger to motivate us to want to not ever lose again. And I think that's part of trying to win is you got to really hate losing. It's got to bother you. It's got to make you upset, and we've got to find a way to fix it. But I think our guys to this point understand that. We've got a lot of work to do this week. We've got another good opponent on the road, which will be tough, like it always is. And we've got to find a way to improve and keep the game close and find a way to win the fourth quarter.
Defensive performance, do you think that was just an anomaly, or do you worry that could happen?
You know what? I haven't seen us play as bad as we did until 2 years ago. And I think what happened, they hit, unfortunately, some deep balls on us. We lost some confidence on the defensive side, and I think that caused us to be very vanilla. Which that's not what we're good at. We've got to make sure that we change things up. We get after the quarterback, we blitz, we change the looks, we change the fronts. We do a lot more things than what we did. But I think getting beat 3 times in the first half over our heads for easy touchdowns is not good. And because of that, everyone lost confidence. So we've got to get that back. We've got to make sure that we don't allow that to happen again. You know, a lot of times the calls were where we're supposed to be off and not allow the guy to run past us, and they did. But we may have been cheating early in the year, and those things catch up with you. So we've got to make sure we get those things corrected. I think they are correctable. We've got to get our swagger and confidence back, and we've got another good team with a good quarterback and good receivers that is coming in here, and we've got to just go out there and play football. And I think if we play aggressive, if we play to win, if we believe in ourselves, then we'll have a chance. But we have to do those things.
Middle Tennessee do a lot of the same things offensively that Louisiana Tech tried to do.
Well, I think when we get into conference play, it's going to be a lot of spread teams, and I think after the first year here, we worked hard at defending the spread, and unfortunately, this was the first really good team that ran the spread, and we got exposed. So, I think we have a good plan. I think we'll have a much better plan. I think that we'll be much more aggressive, and these are the games you have to try to find a way to win. It's got very comparable talent on both sides of the ball. They've got experience at the quarterback and receiver position, and they've got a very good defense that gives you a lot of different looks, especially on third down, which we got to make sure we stay out of that as much as possible because they're very exotic, and Coach does a very good job of coming after the quarterback, but also taking away the quick throws. So it'll be a challenge, but that's why you play the game, and we've got to find a way to pull out a win.
Does Joe Brown have to miss the first half?
Yes, he'll miss the first half.
Will Leverett start in his place?
Right now we have Martavius Mims who can play corner for us. Laverick has mostly been our nickel, but we're going to look at a few different options as well.
When you watched that tape on Thursday, obviously you're disappointed with the turnovers, but were you pleased with the offensive performance, and what kind of things you guys know what to build on for Middle Tennessee?
Well, if you simplify it, yes, our offense did do some good things. We made some plays. We threw for some yards. Our special team did some very good things. Just it was not a very good game on defense for us, and I think, like everyone, when you play good football teams, especially on the road, all 3 units have to play good. And if you can get a few to play great, that's awesome. But they all 3 have to play good, and it just wasn't our night on that side of the ball. And we take full responsibility for it. It's a lot of things to get fixed and corrected. I think you got to use it as a coach and player to look in the mirror and say, okay, what do I need to do better, instead of pointing the finger at someone else. And I think if we do that, and each one of us is man enough to accept the blame and try to find a way to fix it individually, then that'll add up and we'll find a way to get better. And I think you'll see that from our defense.
I think that's something you guys are still searching for as a team, is that complete game where the offense, the defense, and the special teams are all clicking at the same time.
Well, we are, and those are always hard to have a complete, perfect game. But I think, last year, I went back and I watched a lot of games and our defense at the end of last year, and we did a lot of good things. We had different looks. We came after the quarterback. We mixed it up. Now, in some of those games, we had a big lead, but I think that our defense has plenty enough personnel and plenty enough ammunition to remedy the problem. I think that we got to find a way to get some turnovers. We got to make sure the quarterback is uncomfortable. If you look at the last game, the quarterback's jersey never got dirty. That can't happen. We've got to get after the quarterback. We've got to get to him a few times. We got to give him different looks. We got to get in his passing lanes. And if you can affect the quarterback, normally you're going to do some good things. So I think we've got to make sure we're doing that.
Going to try to get some of these younger receivers more involved, or have to rely on Tavon?
Well, that is the goal every week, to get them more involved. I think you've seen Nakari's fan get more involved, and he's done a very good job for us. Yes, we'd like to get Lucky Jackson in the mix, and hopefully he'll play more this week. At the tight end position, they're all playing hard. We definitely can't block the way we did last year, and that's been an issue. And so we have to find some other different avenues to run the football, and but at the same time, use different personnel sets. But yes, we'd like to get more receivers involved.
Talking to Chris later, just how much of an impact does he make coming into this program and really holding down that spot in the defensive line this year?
Well, Chris has done a very good job, and I think we have to do a good job of putting him and Omar Bryant in position to go one-on-one. I think this past game we were in too many, 3-down looks, and they were being double teamed. We've got to make sure that, like I said, we mix the looks up. Normally if we can get Omar isolated one-on-one, he's got some push, and as long as he's not real tired, he can create some havoc. So I think we've got to, all do a better job and put our players in a better position to do well, and then when they are, they've got to execute. And like I said, I think, we've got to make the offense earn their touchdowns. We can't give up those 3 easy bombs over our head.
Having Forrest back too, just how great is that for
Well, you know what? He's done a very good job. I think our offensive line, for the most part, has done a very good job. I think we've got guys that have played a lot. I think they've been upholding their end of the bargain, and they've got to continue to do that. But we've got to play well around him. But I do like our group.
Any chance TJ or Nick can play this weekend?
Well, I'm hopeful, but I don't know. It's going to be one of those things. If they do, they won't be 100%. They'll be going out there and giving everything they have. But we're going to try to get them healthy as they can, and we'll see later on in the week.
Coach, do you prepare your players or your game plan any differently going on the road and in a big game against a rival like MTSU?
Well, we take every game like it's the Super Bowl, and this is the most important game of our life. It's a huge game for us, and it's a team leading our conference. It's at home, and we lost to them at their place 2 years ago. So it's a pivotal game, and pretty much all of them are, but this is a pivotal game, and we treat it as a one-game season, and we've got to do whatever we can to win the game. And that means, in my opinion, as coaches, being creative in every aspect, offense, defense, special teams, while continuing to do sound fundamental things. You've got to be creative and try to gain an edge. And I think, even looking back at our game against Middle Tennessee last year on offense specifically, we ran a few different wrinkles early on, and every one of them worked. And sometimes when you can give a few different looks that the team hasn't prepared for, you've got a chance. And we hit them all last year. And when we did, we got up big, and then it was tough for them to come back. So we've got to find a way to create some big plays, add a few wrinkles, take our shots, be aggressive, not be scared to make certain calls, and go for the win.
Someone who's played quarterback, coach quarterbacks, what would Stock still do well at that position for them?
Well, he's extremely smart, and he knows the offense. He's athletic. He can run around and add time for the receivers to get open, and he can run the football. And they do few quarterback runs with him to keep the defense honest. But, he's not going to do anything to hurt their team, and that's what you need to try to do, is rattle the quarterback. So he is going to be hard to rattle because he is very smart, intelligent, and very good at getting the ball out of his hand. And they do a lot of different wrinkles with running and throwing the ball off of it and giving him quick throws. So we've got to disrupt him as much as we can, but he's a very good football player who is very smart, and he's been there and done that, and he's gone through struggles early on in his career, so he's fought through the hard times, and right now they're riding it high, and he's doing a very good job.
Coach. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.